Hey folks, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Craig Hawkinson with CumberlandValleyTV.com. Today we're going to be discussing website development as well as search engine optimization. And joining me today is the expert in the field, Pam Bogaczyk from PA Media. Hey Pam, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Absolutely.
So the first question is, when you're developing a website, what's the first thing you need to figure out before you start that process?
Oh, wow. The very first thing, it's a big list of things, actually. Usually you want to think about, of course, what the website's for and your target audience, like who you're going after. You want to think about your branding, like your messaging, the look and feel of everything, and what you really want to portray on your site. And really think about like all of those things and to preload everything. You don't want to just go build a website because it gets harder to change afterwards. So a lot of pre-planning goes into website development. And I really like to have conversations with people about that before we build anything, just to get a lay of the land.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you kind of meet with them and kind of decide what information they would like to convey,
yep.
I suppose.
Yep, absolutely.
And then do you develop some kind of a flow chart from that, or what's your process?
Mm-hmm. Yep, from there we do a flow chart, as you said, or a site map. You can just literally draw it out on a piece of paper if you wanted, with boxes. It's really simple, just kind of how you want your users to flow through your site. You'll hear a lot of people talk about a funnel and all those types of things. So you could, think about that in the process. Like when they hit the homepage, where do you want to take them to next? What's your biggest call to action? Those things are very, very important to think about for a website. You
hit a key word there that I'd kind of like to talk about,
Sure.
And that's funnel.
Oh, yes.
Because I use it now, and a lot of people hear that and they go, well, what the heck's a funnel? What do you mean by that?
Right.
And I always tell them, well, it's different places your link might end up that kind of directs everything back to you,
right,
and back to the final decision making.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you would describe it, or?
That's a great way to describe it. And really a part of it is when you're thinking about your site in the beginning, again, think about the goals that you have for the site and for the business itself. So if your goal is to build an email marketing list so that you can sell to people later, like those types of things, then that becomes part of your funnel. How do you get people to, once they hit your site, end up on your marketing list? So that would be part of the funnel.
Another question I think that people would want the answer to is you always see advertisements on the on YouTube and on the internet about the different types of companies that offer services, like, well, GoDaddy, I'm guessing, is probably the biggest. Do you have a favorite on that?
What type of services do you
hosting, say.
Oh, hosting. So I use something called SiteGround. I tend not to go towards GoDaddy. I like SiteGround a lot. There's a lot of good ones. Bluehost is another one that I used or have used. So yeah, it depends on what you're looking for, what you need for your site, of course, how big it'll be, volume and traffic and those types of things. But usually most of them out there are fine.
As far as what type of tools to use to create the website, what is your favorite on that front?
Yep. So I use WordPress all the time with every site that I build. It's my favorite because when you build a site, it is yours, essentially. If I were building a site for you, it would be your site. Whereas if you would build it on like Wix or Squarespace, they have their, good points too, but WordPress at the end of the day is your site. So if those businesses would go away for whatever reason, you still have your site, kind of deal.
So I don't think I understood that from their ads. So if I do a Wix site, they own the site basically, or
it's hosted with them. From the packages that I've seen, they might have other ones that I'm not sure about, but yes. So It's essentially on their site and with their product, and which is totally fine. And for a lot of things that people want to do, that might be just fine. Smaller sites, if you're doing like a one-page portfolio site or something, those would be probably the cheapest option and the fastest way to get it done. But WordPress, again, I like it a lot because you can customize it more. You can add plugins and things like that and kind of mold it into what you want it to be a little more readily than a templated site. And
it's easier to use than say the Adobe product, Dreamweaver, which you prefer the WordPress over something like that?
I do, because it takes away the hard coding, if you will. Like, you don't have to know HTML. Like, once we get the site set up for you, I teach you how to use it, and there's like an administrative area in the back end that you could add content to, and pictures and video and all sorts of things without worrying about code, which is why I like it for my customers a lot.
So when you develop a website for somebody, you create a path for them to upload updates and stuff like that. They don't necessarily have to come back to you to do that. They've got their own way to accomplish that.
Yep, absolutely. That's really important to me and the clients I've worked with too. They want to be able to upload their own content without coming to me all the time, of course. So that makes it easy for them.
They want to have their own media person be able to upload that kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about search engine optimization, SEO.
Yes.
I get 15 emails a month on people trying to sell me SEO.
Right.
What is it, and why should we do it?
That is a huge question.
Well, you got 30 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. No, take your time.
So search engine optimization, or SEO, is basically the things that make you show up on a Google search, more or less. And those things there's a huge list. It's, can be a range of Google ads all the way down to, just content on your site. There's so much that goes into it. But basically, you just need to come up with a strategy and a plan for your site specifically on how you want to rank in a Google search. Organically, it's mostly content driven. I mentioned Google Ads. There's a paid version, a paid way to get on rankings. But yeah, SEO is basically, I call it Google juice. It's just the Google juice that makes you show up to get customers onto your site.
And it's a way to get people to your site without directly paying Google ads, or I know a lot of people buy FaceTime ads and that kind of thing. What do you think about those strategies?
I think the ads are a great way to get traffic to your site quickly. But I only like to use them if your website is set up for it, by way of landing pages that we've talked about before. You always want to have a plan for the ads to go to. If you have a campaign, you want to drive traffic for a reason, make sure they're going to a page that has, again, a call to action. Don't send them just to your homepage. Right. They'll get lost.
I was going to say, describe exactly what a landing page is, because I hear that a lot.
Yep.
And it seems like a pretty important thing. Well, for building your funnel.
Right. It's all part of the funnel.
Right.
Yep.
So what exactly is a landing page?
Yep. It's just a page that is specific to one piece of content. So if you were doing an ad for somebody to do a video at a restaurant or something like that, you would want to build a page all around restaurant content and why a video would help them and what it would do for them, and all these kinds of positive content things on this page specifically for those people that you're driving to. And then you would have a clear call to action, whether it be like sign up for your email or purchase a package now or whatever it is. That landing page is specific to what you want to do.
So your search engine optimization would include specific landing pages within the plan of the search engine optimization. I'm trying to ask that question
yeah,
the right way.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. That would be more specific to paid ads, where you're like driving traffic specifically.
Okay.
Whereas the SEO part is more on your website. It's more of an organic thing, so it's based more around the content on your site and how you structure your site, and how you like link back and forth to your pages within your site. And there's also something called off-page SEO, which are links and content outside of your website that also makes a big difference.
Would that be ranking. Like YouTube and stuff?
Definitely. Yep, YouTube. You could do, like, if you could get a guest post blog on somebody else's site that has a really high, what they call domain authority. It's a range from 0 to 100, and the higher you are on that range, the more likely you're going to show up. So if you get to do like a blog post on somebody's site that's ranking really well, and then you link back to your site, then that's a really good thing for you also. So that's off-page SEO.
Okay. Can you share with us one of your secrets to increase visits to a website?
Yep, definitely. The secret sauce, I think, is keyword research. A lot of people miss that or skip that or don't even know what it is, which is fine. It's just something out there where you want to do your research and find out what people are searching for and why they would land on your site. So you want to think about like the intent. Are they ready to purchase something? Are they doing research themselves for comparisons? Maybe maybe you have a product website and you want to draw them in. You want to do a blog post on like a comparison of why this or that. Those types of things. You have to figure out what people are searching for instead of what you think they're going to search for.
Who provides that research?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, so you sit down there and you read. Okay.
There are a lot of tools that you can do it, both paid and free. I use one called KW Finder. That's a paid one. There's a little bit of a free trial in there that you can use for it, and you type in keywords and it shows you how likely they are to rank.
Well, hopefully a lot of people are figuring out that might make more sense to hire you, a professional that knows about this instead of trying to, wade into that pool themselves.
Right. Yeah.
But some people either like might want to just do it for fun or to learn about it, or maybe they can't afford
if it's not in the budget. I see that a lot. It's totally fine, and there's simple things you can do too. You could literally go to Google and start typing in a phrase that you think people are looking for, and it has like auto suggested phrases. So people are searching for those things. That's why they're auto suggesting it for you. So maybe that phrase would be important, and then you want to build some content on your site around that. You could do things like that on a low budget.
Well, I have a completely self-serving question next. Is how important is video? Video
is extremely important. YouTube nowadays is a no-brainer. Video is so popular right now. You want to be all over it everywhere. Post on YouTube, put it on your website.
And you can do embed code, so you don't have to navigate away from the website too. And I think that's important too.
Absolutely. If you're putting video out there, which I highly encourage,
my new best friend.
Yay! But also remember that you want to hit as many content sources as possible. So if you create a video, maybe you could rip the audio from that and create a podcast from it, like what we're doing. But then also put it on your website too. Embed it on your website. But instead of just the video, add in content below it around what you talked about and the specific topics. Again, going back to that keyword research. For instance, I would do a heading for SEO. What is it? And like everything that we've talked about, and like literally write out our conversation.
Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to have your own video or content to add to the website, right? I mean, sometimes you can find a relatable video or story or something to add to your website.
Yeah,
are there copyright issues on that?
Not that I know of. I have not run into that, but if it's important to the article or whatever you're trying to portray, definitely put that stuff in and link back to where you got it from, of course.
And it's a good idea to create a lot of links to and from your website. Is that true? Yeah.
That is definitely true. Just make sure they're quality. There's some bad resources out there, buying links and stuff. Don't get into that. Yeah. It's just ugly.
Well, just like if you can link to the Chamber of Commerce or something like that. Are there any copyright issues you have to worry, or trademark issues that you have to worry about when doing that?
Nope, I've never seen anything like that. It's just more helpful than anything. As long as you're being helpful, you don't have to worry about it.
All right, and they whoever you're linking to probably appreciates it.
Yeah.
I would think.
Absolutely.
So.
Yep, all part of it.
Well, I'm kind of out of questions. Is there anything that you would like to say that I missed that you think is important when developing a website?
Sure. I would go back to the beginning of our conversation and just say, make sure you have a plan and you're thinking through your goals and, again, the target audience, and do your keyword research before you start building content and like all of those types of things. And then don't set it up and forget it kind of deal. A website's a living thing.
Keep it up.
Keep it up. You want it to work for you. I see so many sites out there that are just sitting out there and they're not doing anything. If you're adding content and constantly, working on it, Do your keyword research, on a monthly basis or something, because people change what they're searching for. So you always want to
trends change too.
Yes, absolutely. So make your website work for you. I really like helping clients do that instead of, here's just a site,
All right. Well, I'm really looking for. We're going to be working together and teaming up on doing some projects, and I really look forward to working with you. I really like what you're doing, and thank you so much for making the time.
Absolutely,
to
thank
come
you.
and see me. And,
this is great.
let's do this again soon.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks. Craig.
Bye-bye.
Bye.